Welcome back to Dragon Ball Super Anime Review, Episode 4. This one I'm viewing the greatest saga of the entire series, which is the Future Trunks Saga. Now, this saga is particularly very weird, and how many episodes are considered a part of it, even though that... Here's kind of the thing. I'm only going to review, technically, the first... There's actually about 29 episodes considered part of this saga, but here's the thing. The 20th episode that's considered listed as part of this saga, that's the end of Future Trunks. The final 9 episodes, which I'll talk about in the next review, have nothing to do with Future Trunks at all. I don't know why they're listed, as part of the saga. It's kind of the similar thing to that of the Cop of Achia saga, where it's actually only just three. It's actually just a quick 3-parter. And the first 2 episodes, just standalone episodes, really have nothing that felt like they should be part of the previous saga, as pretty much just part of that thing. Now, this saga, I gotta admit, this saga has a reputation of good writing, good build, great pacing, and it had a really good villain, Goku Black. And at least they took their time in revealing of who he is. And I gotta say, for a villain, the guy is one of the most interesting villains in the entire series, and he was the first original villain for the franchise, canon-wise, since Majin Buu. Beerus doesn't count because, well, he technically wasn't really an actual villain. He just somebody for Goku to fight first, right after he beat Majin Buu. Yep. The saga starts now. It's not until the end. I think it's not until like about half in episode 2. Where Future Trunks goes back in time. I should point out, though, they even have a future version of Mai. Yes, Mai. Who at this point in Dragon Ball Super is basically... She looks like a little girl who Trunks has a crush on. Yeah, she, Pilaf, and the Dog Ninja, who are from the original Dragon Ball series. As a matter of fact, these 2 are the first 3 villains of the franchise. Well, not exactly chronologically. Goku took these people on before he actually met Frieza. Like, several years for that. Yep. So, yeah, and young Trunks had never seen this person before at all, Future Trunks. And it had been something, though, since he had actually shown up. It's been, at this point in time, because this takes place long after Majin Buu, I would say about 7-8 years. I would say about 8 years since they last seen him. Yep. 8 years since they last seen Future Trunks. 8 years. So, he goes back in time in the time machine, or his own time machine. Pretty much the first 2 episodes, that's kind of the build of what these 2 episodes are. First 2 episodes, it's him getting into the path. I should point out, though, Future Mai and Present Mai are voiced by the same person. One of my personal favorite dub actors, I still haven't met her yet, Colleen Clickenbeard. Yep, she voices Mai. I was quite surprised to hear her voice come out of Mai's mouth because I had only heard her voice subbed. Well, I didn't hear the president. I don't think she was the original voice actress for her. I think she was the second voice actress for her, as far as I can tell. Yeah, the second one. And I at least got to praise the Pilaf gang for actually playing a small role in this arc, because prior to this, if you look at it, the first arc they play a pretty minor role. They don't really do very much. In the case of the following saga, the one featuring Return of Frieza, they just show up for like 1 episode and that's it. Excuse me. They show up for 1 episode. The next 2 sagas are nowhere to be seen, and apparently now they're crashing at Bulma's place because they have nowhere place to go. And of course, Pilaf, despite being kind of evil, he's still a genius. His genius plays, I would say, a pretty big role in this thing. And of course, when Trunks comes back, Pilaf mistakenly assumes this is probably like an illegitimate child, someone that Bo and Vegeta had before they got married. Nope. Bo points out, though, that this guy is the older version of their younger son, of the young son they have. Yep, they correctly point out. I should also point out, though, that Future Trunks is wearing complete outfit than when he wore in the original, the last time he was seen. Yeah, completely different attire. Also, I gotta give high praise for this saga for doing this. This saga has used tons of stock footage from DBZ, mainly from the Android Saga, and the Cell games. Yeah, and there's tons of references to Cell, and a little bit to Majin Buu. There's a little bit of follow-up to what happened with the Majin Buu saga in this one. Yeah, there's a little bit of follow-up to that, but that's one thing I give high praise for, because you take two major meta sagas of the franchise, the last two that the series had before it actually ended, and sort of do references, do mild follow-ups to it. As a matter of fact, Cell's time machine, the one he used, actually makes an appearance. They actually use it for a good chunk of this arc, because Trunks' actual time machine was destroyed by Goku Black when he time traveled back in time. Yeah, and of course, Beerus. Now, Beerus, Goku, and Whis do some investigating of exactly who this person is, because that's one thing I gotta praise for this particular saga: the genius of his identity of who Goku Black really is. Of who he is, it's not all that surprising, but it was a great reveal. And how Goku Black came to be. It was highly suspected most of the arc that Goku Black was basically let's say a copy of Vegeta with the evil personality. Nope. As for who he is, it's particularly a bit bizarre of how he came to be. Also, I gotta point this out though. Zeno. Yep, he returns for 2 episodes. Yep, returns for a couple episodes, and we also get a chance to see the Super Dragon Balls in this particular saga. Yep, they play a very minor role in this particular saga. After this, they don't play a role again until, well, they play a role in the next major arc, Universal Survival. They do. And let's see what else. They go and they actually do something they never could do in the original series. Actually travel to Trunks' timeline, which praise that for that. And who goes with Trunks to his own timeline? Why Vegeta and Goku? Why the heck not? And of course, there's also Resistance Troop, something they didn't actually show. As a matter of fact, if you notice when it comes to Future Trunks' timeline, you don't actually see him, let's just say, start off with him coming to the past. You don't see his time machine at all until, like in the original saga, you don't see his time machine until, like, toward the end of it, when they introduce Cell. Yep. In the case of this one, you get a chance to see him rush to... When you first see his timeline, like, Metro West is like a wasteland. It's ruins. That's because of Goku Black pretty much decimating the human population. Yep, this is probably also one of the darkest points of the entire series. The series had gotten this kind of dark before with Majin Buu, when he decided to just on a whim just wipe out the entire human race. Just like that. Goku Black, this wasn't done very quickly like Majin Buu was. This took a little bit of time. It took a little bit longer than Majin Buu did. Yep. And what else? Now, as for who Goku Black is, he's a character only for this saga only. His name is Zamasu. Yeah, his name is Zamasu, and he is the Supreme Kind Training for Universe 10. Yep, this guy. He is the main villain of this arc. Okay, quite interesting. As for how he got to be how Goku Black is, yeah, apparently he decided to do a body swap with Goku. And then he kind of killed Goku in his original body. Then he used Goku's own body to murder his wife and son. Well, Goku's wife and son, younger son it was. No mention happened to Gohan. Yeah, that's very surprising. There's no mention happened to Gohan in this whole time. And that's real later on, but early part there's some good humor, and the fact Future Trunks get a chance to see Gohan again and meet his beautiful little daughter. Yep, and he also get a chance to see 18 again. This is probably the first time he's actually seen 18 in present day since the end of Cell games. It's been that long since he actually seen her, and it is something though the fact that he was actually generally surprised the fact that Krillin married her and had a kid with her, a beautiful little girl by the way. Yeah, who's inherited her mom's blonde hair and the whole thing of of, well, Krillin not having a nose. So I'm still curious how the heck the man can breathe without a nose. Yes. Let's see, what else? Yeah, before they even have Future Trunks show up, and first they have Goku doing his harvest, and he invites Piccolo to do training, and he describes it. Now they even show they even show stock footage of Dragon Ball from the second Saga of the series when Goku and Krillin were training, which their training consists of like doing various things, not martial arts per se, but like delivering milk and all doing this all with carrying turtle shells in their back. Yeah, it's the turtle school training. And even Piccolo was actually genuinely surprised the fact he was able to work up a good sweat while doing this. And he was genuinely surprised the fact this is actually pretty good training. And I thought it was so funny. Him and Goku were competing of who can actually get their section on faster. They even had two gigantic, I think it's like giant boxes, like kind of like truck carrier boxes to carry all this food in. Yeah, and of course they find, of course Krillin tells Goku that Vegeta's training on Beerus's world. Yep. And he, of course, interrupts his sparring. Now, when they bring Goku back, they have him doing the instant transmission. Though they have it where, before that, they get honed on the energy where they are. They have Trunks go Super Saiyan. Kind of similar to what they did for the Golden Frieza one, where we have Gohan go Super Saiyan, just so they can have Goku lock into something. This is kind of similar, but not. It's just a big of dire situation, and you have Goku see Korin. Yeah, probably his only time he appears. Actually, one of two times he appears in the whole series. The other time was when he appeared in a brief cameo. Him and Yajirobe, who actually you see future Yajirobe in the saga. Yeah, that's something of future Yajirobe alive and well. Yeah, and the fact he's got a beard. I guess they want to be different. But President Yajirobe, he only appears for one episode. And he's still living with Korin after all this time. I'm like, he's lived with Korin now for almost 20 years, and he's still there. Yeah, and he still looks exactly the same. He hasn't really aged at all, which is kind of weird. Let's see, what else? And he's only resided there because he wanted to get senzu beans. And when Goku comes back to the present, he realizes that, oh crap, he forgot his senzu beans. Though when he went to Back to the Future the second time, they actually remembered the senzu beans. They at least remember that. And when they eventually find Mai, after the second time, she apparently been wounded. And of course, Bulma decided to go with him the second time. She also went the third time as well. And this I thought was quite hilarious. Where Trunks kind of grinds down the senzu bean and puts it in Mai's mouth, doing it mouth to mouth. And Goku's like, what's that? And the funny thing happens is like, that's a kiss. That's kissing. And the fact that Vegeta just realized, though, Goku and Chi-Chi have never kissed the entire time they're married. And these two are married for almost 20 years and they've never made out. That's the funny thing. And someone actually, I saw this, there's one of the YouTubers I subscribe to, and he put this image. He took the image from the Drew Barry film, Never Been Kissed, and put Goku in the place of Drew Barrymore. I thought that was so funny. Yeah. And I even thought it was so funny that Vegeta kind of correctly pointed out, though, that both Mai and future Mai and future Trunks, have got a thing for each other. Yeah, he correctly pointed out. They do have a thing for each other. Now, when they back to the second time they did this, yes, they actually had a plan this time. When they decided to use the evil containment wave, which Piccolo remembers very well. And apparently Goku, after all this time, even after he fought King Piccolo, he completely forgot about the whole thing. And he figured, okay, and once he reminded of it, he's like, okay, I'm going to go to Master Roshi's place and learn how to use it, because after all, Master Roshi was the last known person to use it, so why the heck not? Excuse me. As for how Piccolo knows it, I don't know. It's particularly very weird. My personal guess is that probably Roshi taught him. As for how he could have done it, like, they never explain in the show exactly how he gets it. hmm Yeah, how he knows the particular, and he uses, instead of using like a jar like Roshi uses, he Piccolo uses a water pitcher. Yes, a water pitcher to contain evil. Though Goku practiced it on a turtle, the 1,000-year-old turtle that lived with Roshi. In the case of Piccolo, it was, they never actually show what he was using. They used the image on Bulma's smartphone. Yeah, there's a smartphone in this series. I'm not kidding. I'm like, okay, I get the fact why they included smartphones because the series only came out just a few years ago, so why not include smartphone, despite the fact it's been nearly 20 years since DBZ ended? Yeah, so why not use smartphones? Yeah, I guess some people are like, okay, technology's probably advanced enough, but they can have those now, so yeah, there's that. Trying to think, oh yeah, Bulma throughout the saga is wearing her scientist attire, which is kind of like jeans, but different shirt this time. She doesn't wear her ascot. She wears like a vest, not vest, a lab coat. And she's traveled the future at least twice. And even after, they even had one point, they meet with President Masuga, and they kill him. And Beerus is like, nope, yeah, despite the fact I killed him, his Trunks' armor is going to change. And then they have Goku, Trunks, Vegeta, Bulma, all go through Trunks' timeline. They get there and there's no change. And it turns out the reason why, even though they killed Zamasu in present day, the reason why Goku Black is still there is Time Ring. Yep, a Time Ring. And the fact it's very similar to stuff from Universe 10. I should point out, though, that the Supreme Kai of Universe 10 does come back after the saga in the Universal Survival Tournament. And he has a completely different personality. He's not like kind like he is in the saga. He's like laughing maniacally, and he acts like the boss of Universe 10, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure what was up with his writing, why they wrote him that way there. It's like they had a completely different writer for him for Universal Survival and did for this saga. I don't know who voiced him, but the guy did a fantastic job voicing him. Oh yeah, they also revealed though that all the gods have been killed in the Future Trunks timeline. Yeah, Goku Black killed them all, and apparently they kind of reveal this. My guess is they probably took this information from the Dragon Ball Super manga. Yeah, there's a manga for this, where not only the gods were killed, but also destroyers as well. And this revealed in the saga that Whis is an angel. Yep, Whis is an angel. I already knew that already due to some information I read up and the fact they mentioned the sub. So I like the fact that Funimation takes some stuff that was part of the Dragon Ball Super manga and put that in the show. Give high praise for that. Also, they mentioned what happened to Majin Buu in the Future Trunks timeline. Yeah, apparently Majin Buu was never awakened because Future Trunks killed Deborah and he killed the Wizard Babidi before they can even bring him back. Yeah, so Future Trunks actually prevented the resurrection of Majin Buu, which got at least praising him for that. It's like, why the heck not bring that up? Because I'm sure that probably happened. Yeah, of course, I should also point out that when Goku Black attacked, they were actually just about finished reconstruction of the entire planet after it had been decimated by Android 17, by future Android 17 and 18. Trying to think what else though. Yajirobe, future Yajirobe does play a really good role in this story, and I like Pilaf's role. He's able to, and of course, Bulma finds out about her future self's notes. Also, at the end of episode, I think it's episode 2, I think it is, where future Bulma is murdered by Goku Black. How he kills her is one of the most bizarre ways I've ever seen a character get killed off. Apparently, he used some of his power to sort of turn her to ash. They never specifically show exactly how future Bulma is killed. It's like he's holding Bulma by her, not exactly by her neck, but by her shirt, and somehow he must use basically his energy sword. He pops out of his hand. He must use that to kill her. But how in the world that turned into dust? Yeah, they didn't specifically explain, like, how the heck did Goku Black murder her? Yep. And the way they tell the difference between future Bulma and present day Bulma is that future Bulma has got some wrinkles. and she's a bit more puffy in the face. Oh yeah, and somehow for some reason, despite the fact she's older, her hair didn't change color. Her hair changed to a dark blue. Yeah, and also I should point out though, Future Trunks, his hair changed too. Yeah, where instead of being like a light purplish color, it's now blue. I don't know why, and they gave that color to his younger self. Because if you've seen like the way they show him in stock footage, his hair is like a light purple, and then for some reason when they show him here, his hair is blue. As for why in the world that is, they never explicitly say in the show why his hair changed color. It's kind of like how his mother keeps frequently changing color almost every time she shows up. Sometimes she's a blonde, she has blue hair or purple hair. I think one point I read she was also blonde as one show. She was also a brunette. Yeah, they never specifically say exactly why. It's a recurring thing of Bulma. She frequently changes her hair, and apparently her son Muzz is picking up the same thing. Also, at one point when she also mentions that younger Trunks is an expert on jigsaw puzzles, which apparently Bulma taught him. So she has future Trunks put back together the evil container, the evil the jar they're using, and apparently he did a fantastic job with it. Mm-hmm. And also, Goku Black actually damaged the second time machine. No, how they reveal how Bulma got this, which is quite ingenious. Which I'm so glad they included this in the anime, because it's kind of like, okay, she has another time machine, and if they didn't have this scene of how she got it, yeah, this is also the same time machine that Cell came back in. And they even mentioned, though, that the giant hole that's in this time machine, yeah, Cell did that. And the whole Moss thing, because apparently this particular time machine's been in the area for years. So they spent a good chunk of, they spent like almost an entire episode. They cleaned the moss off, they fixed the hole in the thing, and fixed all the stuff with it. And the blue liquid, which Future Bulma says it took her entire year to fill up a half a thing. Present-day Bulma can fill that thing in just 12 hours. Yeah, even Future Trunks was shocked the fact she can do that. Mm-hmm. Trying to think, there was anything else? Oh yeah, and how they even had the return of Vegito. Yeah, he came back. Who last appeared in Majin Buu Saga. Oh yeah, they even explained of how that Goku and Vegeta were separated despite having those earrings on. They explained because they're not Supreme Kai, so they can be in that fusion form for 1 hour. Yep, and they took them on for a pretty good period of time. Eventually ran out of power, they fused, and also Future Trunks' sword gets smashed, and it forms, and then people of the planet form like this spirit bomb in form of a sword, and then Future Trunks does something unexpected. He kills his second villain in the whole entire franchise. He kills his villain by slicing him in half. From the groin up, completely in half. Which makes him the second villain he's ever sliced up. The first one he did it was when he caused the second death of Frieza. Actually, might consider to be... You might consider to be the first death, when he's like cybernetic form. He's sliced into pieces, and then they vaporized it, which they actually show flashback of this both in this saga and in Golden Frieza. They show Frieza being sliced up by Future Trunks. Mm-hmm. They also kind of mentioned that in this, and they also mentioned in this particular saga that apparently time travel is a taboo. Yeah, tell that to the Doctor from Doctor Who, because he does it all the time. Yeah. And according to Goku Black, he's kind of the reason why he was able to do this, because apparently mortals tamper. Now, they do change some of the dialogue from the sub, because in the sub, Zamasu kept referring to mortals as humans. Yes, he kept referring to them as humans a lot. I'm kind of glad they changed the mortals in the dub, because I'm sure for a lot of people thinking that everybody's a human, not necessarily, no. Especially since they're different species. At least Zamasu, despite the fact they did change some words of his dialogue, it's mostly the same as was in the dub. Also, this is the first saga, this is the first time you ever actually hear an actual swear word in the DBZ franchise. Vegeta at one point refers to Goku Black as an SOB. Not kidding about that, he does. Swearing in the Dragon Ball series. That's a bit unusual, but not the first Funimation dub I've heard where they use swearing. They do in One Piece as well. Yeah, they use swearing in that one. I think they do in a couple other series, but at least not dropping F-bombs. Oh no, not dropping F-bombs. Yep. And the fights in here are fantastic. Yes, love the fights. And the 3 rounds that Goku Black and Zamasu go with Vegeta and Goku is fantastic. Oh yeah, and Goku Black has his own Super Saiyan form. His something similar to Super Saiyan Blue. It's Super Saiyan Rose. Even though the dub, it's kind of pronounced Super Saiyan Rose, but they pronounce it Rose as more of a grandiose fashion because he's a god. So why the heck not? Also, he even does the fusion as well because he's kind of a Supreme Kai in some way. And apparently his mortal half was rejecting him. So that was how Future Trunks was able to slice him in half. So if you look at every single character who's killed character's whole series, Vegeta's got the highest body count out of everybody. Goku's killed like 2 or 3 villains of the entire franchise. And Future Trunks has only killed 2 people. He killed Frieza, his first official death, and he killed, well, Goku Black by slicing him in half. There's that. This overall was a really fantastic saga, and I loved it. Yep. Now, the next episode is going to be kind of what I'm calling the no-name saga because I don't know why these 9 episodes are considered part of this saga. It's really weird. I think the first episode is loosely connected to this one, but the rest of them have nothing to do with Future Trunks at all. Also, after Zamasu is sliced in half, he sort of becomes one with the Universe 7. So Goku decides to come up with the brilliant idea to bring in future Grand Zeno. Press a button. Poof! There he is. So he pretty much exterminates the entire thing, having like Goku, Bulma, Vegeta, Future Trunks, and Future Mai pile on a time machine. Well, actually, it's just Bulma, Future Mai, and Trunks go inside a time machine while Goku and Vegeta hold on to the outside of it. And of course, Supreme Kai of Universe 7 and the one from Universe 10. Yeah, they play a role in the saga as well, while having the Supreme Kai Universe 7 being sort of a taxi for Goku. The first time was when he got a chance to see Grand Zeno's palace. It's big. And this is also the first saga introduced the character of the Grand Minister. In the sub, he's referred to as the Grand Priest. Here he's referred to as the Grand Minister. Okay, and it's at the end of the saga, the Grand Minister is Whis' father. Interesting. Probably due to the fact that the same exact face. But he's shorter than his own children. Yeah, all the angels are his kids, which is really weird. And apparently the reason why Zeno actually contacted Goku, Goku never thought it was going to be the Omni King tournament. No, so he can play. Eventually, Goku convinced him that he's going to get another Playmate for him. And eventually, that comes to play later on with Future Zenu. He brings to the present anyways. Yeah, and then they kind of created another alternate future for Future Trunks and Future Mai to live in. They go back a little bit before Goku Black's attack course. They also convinced Future Beerus to kill Future Zamasu. So any of this from happening. Yeah, it was a bit confusing, and even for the sub, this was confusing. So yeah, 2 Future Mais, 2 Future Trunks. Really weird. Otherwise, that's really it. This was a really damn good saga, and I do highly recommend you check it out. It is fantastic. Yeah, there's tons. Like, if you're a fan of the DBZ series, you will love. You will basically. This saga is kind of a partial love letter to DBZ, mainly to the Cell saga, and a little bit to Majin Buu, which I gotta appreciate this series actually referencing stuff for that series, and of course referencing the original Dragon Ball series, which is great. So that's it for this review. Stay tuned for the next review. I'm going to cover the 9 episodes that are not considered part of this saga, in my opinion anyways. But they're listed as such. So, excuse me. Until I see you next review. Bye.